Hello again and welcome back to our course on PSE 15. In this section we're going to look at places, which I've mentioned already, and in particular when we were looking at events. I pointed out that very often an event and the shots associated with an event will also correspond to shots taken in a particular place, a particular location. A very important point to note before we begin is that nowadays places in PSE 15 is very ably supported by the mapping facilities that are closely integrated with PSE places, and these are based on Google Mapping. I'm going to be using those facilities during this section. You will need a reasonable internet connection to make good use of these facilities. If you don't have an internet connection, you're going to be severely restricted in what you can do anyway. If you have a slow internet connection, it should still work, but as you probably realize, it will also be rather slow. So the first thing I'm going to do with my current catalogue is to select places and see what I see. Now the first thing to do is to get sort of acclimatized to what you can see here. Let's start with pinned. If I click on pinned, I'll see the shots that I have pinned on a map of the world. At the moment you can't see any, but if you look at the top left hand corner of the map, I'm given alternative views. This is what's called the hybrid view. I could choose the map view, which shows me the main countries of the world marked. Hybrid we've just seen. Then we have a light view and a dark view. And which view suits you will probably vary with your situation, probably with your eyesight, and also to some extent things like the prevailing light. With this you have a zoom in and out facility. So given that many of my recent images are shots taken in Europe, I might click on plus and plus again, and then use this hand to drag myself to Europe. And you can see that although it wasn't apparent, there are actually some pinned images. The little numbers there indicate how many. So there are 99 taken there, and there are 9 taken there. Let me zoom in a bit further. Now that 99 is actually 52 and 47. And actually, as I zoom in, the locations become more specific. The number of pictures become more specific, and overall I'm getting a better and better view of where these pictures were taken. For instance, here these pictures are the pictures I took of the steam car, and if I wanted to get the name of the location where they were taken, get location name. This is where the internet connection comes into it. England, United Kingdom. Step through the pictures. Now notice the location information, England, United Kingdom. Let me zoom in a little farther, and as I zoom in, that 33 pictures get separated into two groups, a 28 and a 5. Let me zoom in a little farther. Now it's split into 4 groups. If I hover over the 19 now, what I get is Muka, England, United Kingdom. It can now specifically say that the pictures of the car were taken in the village of Muka in the Yorkshire Dales in England. The other pictures, the other 14 pictures, were taken elsewhere. They may or may not give, for example, the name of a village or a road junction or a town or a street or something else. Just depends on what they know. Most of those were taken out in the countryside, so they just say North Yorkshire. The one over here says North Yorkshire, etc. But how clear and specific a location is when you look at the location information will depend on that location and how specifically the mapping facilities in PSE can describe the location. One of the questions that you're probably asking already, well, how did I manage to position them that correctly on the map? And the answer to that is that I didn't, because these pictures were taken using an iPhone, but any pictures taken on a smartphone such as an iPhone, which has a GPS facility and can record the location at which a picture was taken, will be able to place those positions on the map with the sort of accuracy that you've seen used here. The problem is the pictures taken on devices that don't have GPS facilities, and you want to be able to position those on the map as well, and that's why we need to return to the unpinned category in PSE 15. When I look at the unpinned facility, I basically got two halves. On the left I have the unpinned images, on the right I have access to the map. Let's start with the images on the left. In very much the same way that they were stacked for events, these are stacked in groups, and I can change the number of groups. So if I want to get more groups, shorter periods of time, etc., let me put that over to max. Let's look at one of the pictures that we worked on earlier on in the course, and that's this picture taken on the Tongariro River in New Zealand, that one. If I want to add a location, if I click on add location, type in a location name and press enter. I'm going to type in Tongariro River. After a little bit of thinking, PSE says Tongariro River, Waikato, New Zealand. That's exactly where it was taken. Having found that location, I click on apply. And that is now pinned and added to my map. Let's go back to the pinned map again. Let's zoom right out. I'm now headed down to New Zealand, and there is one picture, Waikato, New Zealand. Let's go back to the unpinned again. The pictures here of the street cyclist, the one that we used earlier on in the course, and also a guy in a kilt on a ladder, also taken in the city of Bath on the same day. All of these pictures were taken in the city of Bath. So let me search on Bath over here. Bath, UK. Now, if I want to place all of some selected media there, I just click on tick, everything gets added there. If not, let me cancel that. What I can do is to select a number of images and drag them onto that Bath location. Now, one very important point here is that when I place these, I can place them with the accuracy that I want. So if I know exactly which street those were taken on, I could find that street in Bath and position them there. On this occasion, I'm just going to take those 8 pictures and I'm going to drop them onto the city of Bath. And I know that they were taken somewhere in the city of Bath. I'd have to spend a little bit more time to be a little bit more accurate, but that's good for the moment. And let me just finish off this section with one other example. The image here, the selected image on the left here, is a picture taken in Glastonbury Abbey. So this is a specific building in the town of Glastonbury in England. So what I'm going to do in order to position this is type in not just Glastonbury, but Glastonbury Abbey. Note it gives the street address, Magdalen Street or Magdalen Street, Glastonbury. It's even got a UK postcode. Click on apply. If I go to the pinned map now, I have 5 images already at Glastonbury. Let me zoom in and note that one in particular has been placed specifically at the location of the Abbey. These ones have been placed very accurately on what's called Glastonbury Tor, and these were taken on an iPhone, so again the GPS coordinates were used. Get location name. It only records the location here as Glastonbury, but these images are accurately positioned on the map. That's it for this section. I'll see you in the next one.